Caitlin Clark just proved that her presence is powerful enough to shake the internet even without a basketball in her hands. And when a set of bikini photos surfaced, the reactions came in louder than a championship crowd because while fans are used to seeing her in jersey sneakers, and with that unmatched game day fire this time she stepped into the spotlight in a completely different way, showing a side of herself that was relaxed, confident, and effortlessly bold, and that sudden shift sparked everything from admiration to outrage, with people debating not just the bikini itself but what it represented, because for many it was empowering to see a young star who has already dominated the court embrace her personal style off it, while others rushed to criticize, saying it was too bold, too revealing, and not what they expected from someone in her position. Yet that's exactly what made the moment so powerful, because Caitlin wasn't trying to fit into anyone's rules, she was just being herself. And Pictures Mode is here to break down how that authenticity turned into one of the most talked about pop culture moments of the year. In a world where athletes, especially women, are constantly boxed into rigid public images, her refusal to play along is what made the photos resonate so deeply, as they captured her toned athletic build and calm confidence without a hint of self-consciousness. And while critics were quick to jump in, her supporters were louder, pointing out the double standards that still exist, because male athletes can show off their bodies on vacation without anyone raising an eyebrow, but the second a female star does the same, it suddenly becomes a debate, and that sparked a conversation far bigger than swimsuits. It became about freedom, individuality, and the right to live outside of the performance people expect from you. The fascinating part is Caitlin herself didn't say a word, no explanations, no defenses, no tweets or clarifications, just silence, letting the photos speak. And that silence only amplified the impact, because it showed she didn't need to justify enjoying her life, she didn't need to clap back at critics, she didn't need to play the media's game. And that in itself was a bold move, because in today's world of instant responses and reactive PR, she chose stillness. And that choice shifted the conversation even more, because the truth is the photos didn't feel staged or manufactured, they felt raw, genuine, like a glimpse into her real life beyond the scoreboard. And that's exactly what fans latched onto, because it reminded them that Caitlin Clark isn't just a highlight reel or a stat line, she's a human being. She laughs, she relaxes, she soaks up the sun without worrying how it will be perceived. And that's why the reaction exploded in every direction, because people aren't used to seeing her outside of basketball, and when they did, it shook their perception, forcing them to see her as more than an athlete but as a young woman writing her own story. And what makes this even more striking is how naturally she carried it all. No heavy makeup, no dramatic posing, just Caitlin enjoying herself. And that authenticity is rare in a time where most public figures curate every moment of their image. And whether you're shocked, impressed, or caught somewhere in between, one undeniable truth remains: Caitlin Clark has the kind of presence that can spark waves with a jump shot or with a simple smile on the beach. And that's what makes her one of the most impactful figures of her generation, because no matter the setting, she knows how to make people pay attention, and she does it without trying too hard, without faking it, and without losing herself, which is why her name continues to dominate not just the basketball world but also the larger cultural conversation. And if you think this moment will fade, you're mistaken, because what Caitlin did here was prove that she is not just an athlete, she's a symbol of individuality and strength, showing that the same confidence she carries on the court follows her everywhere else, making it clear that whether she's draining threes or turning heads by the water, Caitlin Clark will always own the spotlight. And the deeper layer that adds weight to this moment is how it redefines celebrity authenticity in today's age, because she didn't stage a photo shoot for clout or release a campaign with a brand, she simply lived her life, and the internet turned it into a cultural moment on its own. And that spontaneity is what separates her from so many other public figures who carefully craft every image, because Caitlin's magnetism comes from her not needing to perform. When the cameras aren't rolling, she's still the same grounded, fearless young woman people admire. And that's why her influence extends beyond basketball. Her choice to be unapologetically herself in an environment that demands perfection from women sets a new precedent for how athletes and celebrities can exist in the public eye. She has reminded fans that being real isn't about meeting expectations, it's about shattering them and walking confidently through the noise. And the fact that she did it without lifting a finger, without uttering a single word, proves that her power lies not only in her game but in her aura. Caitlin Clark is rewriting what it means to be a star. She's not just shaping sports culture, she's shaping conversations about identity, image, and individuality. And that's why Pictures Mode is saying this moment will echo far longer than anyone anticipates, because Caitlin showed the world that her presence is enough to change the narrative every single time.